Simeone is linked with every club going, but let's be honest, he runs Atletico Madrid. He's been there for so long. He has full control of their football club on the field stuff. So going to Chelsea is off the table. And Carlo Ancelotti's at Brazil. He's done the Chelsea. I just don't think that's the fit for Chelsea, and that's what the hierarchy wants. So as much as they look about it and they talk about coaches and they should go for managers, I'm not sure Chelsea and Blueco and the hierarchy, whoever is involved, actually want a manager to come in there. They might say it, but I don't really think they want it because they have full control. They have 5 sporting directors. 5 sporting directors making certain decisions. So these 5 sporting directors are not getting it right at the moment.
The person I would go for would be Xavi Alonso.
Okay.
I think, just from the career he's had as a player, all the massive clubs he's played for, he's managed Real Madrid as well. He was forced out by the Real Madrid dressing room. That is a different level of dressing room even to Chelsea's. And I think he would immediately command the respect of the Chelsea players. And tactically, I think he'd be brilliant. So he'd get my vote. But there are lots of other really good managers potentially available this summer. If you speak to people at Chelsea in and around the club, they would say to you, we're in a much better position this summer than we were 2 summers ago.
Yes.
When we appointed Maresca. Because when we appointed Maresca, the final shortlist, I think, was Enzo Maresca and Kieran McKenna. At that time, neither of those 2 managers had any Premier League experience. There was also Thomas Frank, Roberto De Zerbi as well, they spoke to. This time round, you've got much more options. You've got Oliver Glasner, for instance. Marco Silva could potentially become available. Anthony Iraola as well. I think they're looking for somebody with Premier League experience, definitely, and or somebody who's managed at a very high level and has a track record of success. They don't want to take any risks anymore. And in the past, I know we talk about the fact that they just want a yes man or they want a coach who's going to do their bidding. They have actually interviewed some stellar names in the past, this ownership. They've spoken to Luis Enrique. They've spoken to Julian Nagelsmann. They've spoken to Hansi Flick. So those kind of appointments were things that they were looking at and they were interviewing and they were having talks. Didn't happen for a variety of reasons. But I think they will aim high.
Those 3 instantly.
Yeah, I was speaking to our colleague Kaveh last night on this situation, and our understanding is Andoni Iraola, Marco Silva and Xavi Alonso are among the managers Chelsea are discussing as potential replacements for Liam Rosenior this summer. Let's start with Iraola, who will leave Bournemouth at the end of the season after 3 years in charge at the club. He's been linked with a return to Athletic Bilbao, who he represented during his playing career. Let's look at Marco Silva now, someone we all know very well in the Premier League. His contract at Fulham runs out in 2 months. Now he's got plenty.
You think they sound like Chelsea managers? Nagelsmann, Enrique, Hansi Flick. That's the kind of what you expect.
Yeah,
but I take your point. As
if Roman Abramovich,
maybe the Chelsea of old,
Xavi Alonso
6 years ago.
But they've tried.
Alonso's good. Cesc Fabregas also should be probably on this list of
too quick early for him.
Well, he's done some pretty amazing things at Como, and he obviously checks the box, the same one that Xavi Alonso checks, which is it's Cesc Fabregas. Like, everybody knows who that is, and better yet, he played for Chelsea and was brilliant for them, whereas Alonso didn't quite have that. He was obviously played for Liverpool. So that also, for me, makes some sense.
I'll give it Frank Lampard then.
Sure, why not? Yeah,
this is not.
Don't disappoint the Coventry City fans.
No, I know. I feel congratulations to Coventry City, and if there are fans listening, they've been brilliant this season, and I absolutely hope that Frank, and I'm sure he will, gives them a good solid year.
Interesting about Frank is that he still lives very close to Stamford Bridge. His family home's still there, and he still, when he's got time off, he's at Chelsea games. I've seen him in the owner's box at Stamford Bridge. So I think maybe sometime in the future. I don't think now is the right time for that to happen.
Similarly, was Fabregas in the same boat?
Fabregas, what I've been told, not by anybody at Chelsea, but when we've been talking about Fabregas, I think there's some kind of suggestion that maybe long term the plan for him is to manage Arsenal one day.
Wow.
Ooh.
And I'm not sure whether moving to Chelsea would be part of his career progression. I don't know. I mean, that's just you could see
that's just
one person who's just said that to me.
That
So
could jeopardise the Arsenal plan, though, if there were such a plan.
whoever it is,
Who would I like? I mean, I hear Newcastle, not all Newcastle fans, a few Newcastle fans about him being under pressure. Eddie Howe. I'd take Eddie Howe. My problem is at Chelsea now, and the way it is and the way it's all run, is I think they'll be always getting a manager that's grateful to manage Chelsea instead of a top drawer. I think the days of your Mourinho's, your Contes, your Tuchel's, your Ancelotti's, them top, where, you know, the club are grateful for them being the manager of the club. I think now they'll be looking at managers that are grateful to come in and manage Chelsea because the way they run the club and the way it is. And, you know, and Areola, you know, Bournemouth, very good manager, very like stats. You know, these kind of managers will come and they'll look and they'll go, Chelsea have been outrunning every single Premier League game this season. That's you know, how do you turn that around? How do you turn? This is not this is not an ageing football team. This is one of the youngest teams in the Premier League. So for them to get outrun in every single football match is worrying. And I think top managers will look at that and think there's a lot to be done. There's a lot. They need a couple of experienced players. There's a few players that shouldn't be there. They need players in. This is a big job, and I ain't sure one of the big boys will take it.